actually be working on some crawling today with a couple of other moves. So if you're not a fan of crawling, you might not have much fun. But basically, the concept of crawling is, I'll kind of show you from a diagonal. So you're going to have wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then you're going to tuck your toes under, prop your knees off the ground. Again, make sure your shoulders are drawn, shoulder blades are drawn down and away from your shoulder joints to try and get that expansion happening. Lift your knees up, and then you're going to try and lift your opposite hand and foot and travel forwards. So the idea is that you're traveling forwards without getting any pelvic rocking or too much rotation through your pelvis. You really want to try and feel as stable as you can. And the best way to do this is to take small equal steps on each side. So make sure you're not, bringing the foot right up and trying to crawl like that, because that's going to lift your hips up and cause a bit of rotation to happen. So just try and take some nice small equal steps with the crawling. So we'll just go through, all we'll do is, we'll do like 2 steps each side, literally. So opposite hand and foot move forwards, and then alternating, and again, and then rest down. We'll shake out the wrists and do a couple little wrist waves, so we don't end up with sore wrists. And then we'll just go through one more set of that. So we'll just do 4 total steps. Prop yourself up. Make sure you push the ground away through your hands, shoulder blades are down, opposite hand and foot, take a small step together, and then you're just alternating and resting down. Alright, so the next thing we're going to go over is going from this position into that crawling position. So it's called this is called an Overswitch. So we're going to start by propping ourselves off the ground. Push your hands into the ground, shoulder blades come down, and that brings your butt off the ground. And then you're going to basically lift your opposite hand and foot up, and you're going to start rotating and just pivoting on the ball of your foot to bring yourself into this position. And then we're also going to do the opposite of that, so you basically just reverse the movement. So the same hand and foot that you had up, you're going to bring back up, and then you're going to pivot on the ball of your foot, bring your heel down for the break, and land up back in this position. So we'll go through that again. Starting in this position, so your fingers are facing behind you. You want to push the ground away to get your butt off the ground. You're going to basically lift opposite foot and hand up, and you're going to pivot on the ball of the foot that's on the ground until you land up in this position. And then from here, you're just going to reverse that. So lift the same hand and foot up, pivot on the ball of the foot, and use your heel as the brake. So up, pivot, bring your heel down, that's going to stabilize you so you're not wobbling too much. And then you can place the other hand and foot back on the ground. Alright, shake out the wrists again. And then we're just going to practice doing the opposite sides, because you might find that one side's sort of okay, and the other side might feel a little bit different. So just to confuse you, we're going to start from this position. So from here, whichever hand and foot you weren't using before, use it this time. So for me it's these 2. So I'm going to lift up, pivot on the ball, heel down to stop me, and then I'm going to place the hand and foot down together. And then I'm going to lift the same hand and foot up again, pivot on the ball of the foot, spin round, and land up back in this position. So we'll go one more time. You're going to push the ground away, get the knees off the ground, really try and separate your shoulder blades and make sure you're activated through the back. And then you're going to bring opposite hand and foot up, pivot on the ball of your foot, heel comes down to break, and then you're going to place that hand and foot on the ground. We're going to lift that same hand and foot up, pivot on the ball of your foot, spin back round to the start, and then just rest down on your knees. And we'll shake the wrists out again. Alright, so I hope you got that. Once you're used to it, it's not as complicated as it looks at first. Alright, then we're just going to go through, we did cover these two movements, one of them covered last week, and I can't remember if we did this one the week before, but the crab reach, which basically you start out in this position, so the same position as we did before, where your fingers pointing behind you, knees are bent, and you're going to push the ground away from you through your hands to prop yourself up. And then from here, now it's up to you. If you find this challenging enough, this can be the move that you do. Otherwise, you're going to bring one hand up to in front of your face, and then you're going to push your hips up into a bridge, and that hand's just going to kind of, arm's going to hang at the side of your face with a bent elbow, and your hips are going to be up. And then you're going to come back around to the start, bring the hand down, switch hands. So one hand in front of your face, bridge up, really try and push yourself, your hips up towards the ceiling. Just let the arm hang along the side of your face, and then coming back down. Now you might not get all the way up. Again, it's whatever mobility you have is how high your hips will go. So that's okay, as long as it's comfortable. If you have any shoulder issues, this probably isn't a great one to do. So I would either just do a propped version, or maybe just skip it if you have any issues with that. And then the last movement we're going to cover before we flow it all together is the ape reach, which I think this one we did do last week. So with this one, again, your squat might not be a full deep squat, so just squat to where you can manage. So you're going to start on the balls of your feet in a squat position, and you're going to open up your arms out to the side, palms up, really opening up the chest and just getting some nice extension into the upper back. And then you're going to start closing the chest in, bringing the hands forward and rocking onto your heels so that your whole foot's on the ground. The back just arches and your arms come down towards the ground. Just for a second or two, and then you're going to rock back up onto your balls of your feet, and your arms come back around to open, chest open, really trying to reach out through your hands, just to get some nice elongation happening through your shoulders and arms. And then we're going to come back onto the heels, so your feet are flat, flex in the back, hands come down in front. I'm just going to do this from a different angle as well, so you can see. So, up onto the balls of your feet, your arms come up out to the side, chest wants to be nice and open, try and get extension through your back. Then you're going to rock back onto your heels, your whole foot's on the ground, flex the back, and your arms just come down towards the ground. And then from there, up onto the heel, up onto the balls of your feet, and your arms come out again. So you're just shifting from that flexion extension of the spine and onto the balls and heels of your feet in that squat position. So now we're going to try and flow those moves together. So we're just going to take 2 steps each side of the crawl. So 4 total steps, crawling forwards. Then from there, we're going to move into an underswitch. Actually, we'll do this while I'm talking so you can see what I mean. So this is what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, you're just going to lift up the hand that's further behind. Lift that up, pivot on the ball of your foot, heel down, land up in this position. Then you're going to bring your hands to your face and do the crab reach. And then back down, bringing that hand down. Then we're going to do that overswitch. So you're going to bring this hand up and over to pivot on the ball of your foot. And then just walk your hands back so you can do the ape reach. Walk the hands back, bring them up, out to the sides, on the balls of your feet, rocking onto the heels, back down, and then coming up, and then we can just repeat it, so then we can go back into the crawling position and repeat using the opposite side. The tricky bit is actually remembering which hand and foot you used for the underswitch to try and use the opposite one. At least I struggle with that, I don't know about you. So let's do it. My challenge will be space and staying in shot, but that's okay. We'll do the best we can. Alright, so I'll try to talk you through it. So on your hands and knees, prop your knees up off the ground. And then you're going to take opposite hand and foot, small, equal steps forward for 1, 2, 3, 4. The hand that's behind, you're going to lift that and the opposite foot and pivot on the ball of your foot to land up in this position. Place the hand down that was up and bring the other hand up in front of your face and bridge up to crab reach. And then you're going to come back down, place the other hand down and lift up the hand that was down to pivot on the ball of your foot back into this forward down facing position. Walk your hands back, open up your arms into the ape reach on the balls of your feet, and then rock back into your heels. Arms come forward, your back flexes. And then slowly walk the hands back out so you can start the crawl again. So we'll go 1, 2, I'll take tiny steps, pretend 3, 4. And now, lifting the other hand and foot that you didn't use before. Pivot on the ball of your foot, heel comes down for a break. That hand comes down to the ground, and the other one comes out in front of your face, and you're going to bridge up into a crab reach. Coming back down. That hand goes down, the opposite one comes up. Pivot on the other ball of your foot to come back into the downward facing position. Walk the hands back into the ape reach, so stay on the balls of your feet. Your arms come out to the sides, open up the chest. Then rock into your heels, flex the spine, and let your arms relax down to the floor. And then you can just walk your hands forward and rest. So shake the wrists out a bit, because that was a bit of loading on the wrists. Hope you guys are following along. If you're having any issues, just comment and I'll observe and see what I can do about it. But yeah, hopefully you're following along all right. You can do some little rotations with your wrists, just with your hands clasped. Because yeah, this does require a fair bit of load through the wrists. So back of your hands together, just gently, don't force your elbows down, but just literally relax so your elbows come down a little bit. You only want to feel a slight stretch. Just basically getting the muscles doing the opposite of what they've been doing for the past couple of minutes. And then we're just going to run through that again. Alright. So, start back here. Okay, so on your hands and knees, bring the knees off the ground. We're going to take 4 small steps crawling forward. 2, 3, 4. And then bring the opposite hand and foot, the hand that's further back, off the ground. Pivot on the ball of your foot and land up in this position. One hand comes down, that was up, and then the other one comes up in front of your face, bridging up into the crab reach. Hang there for a second, and then coming back down. Bring that hand down, the opposite hand up, and the opposite hand and foot bring you over, so you're facing down towards the ground, back into that start position. Walking the hands back into the ape reach, stay on the balls of your feet, and open your arms wide, extending the back. Rock back into your heels, flex the spine, and let your arms hang down. And then shifting forwards back into that crawl position. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and then lifting the opposite hand and foot from the one you just used. Just spin over. Hand comes in front of the face, bridging up into the crab reach. Just hang there for a second or two. And then coming back down. Switch your hands. The other hand comes up with the opposite foot. Pivot on the ball of your foot. Landing up facing the ground in that start position. And then walk your hands back. Stay on the balls of your feet. Into the squat. Open your arms out to the side. Extend through the back. And then rock back into your heels. Let your spine flex and just resting your hands down. It's quite nice just to take a couple of nice breaths into your belly while you're in that position as well. And then rest. Shake the wrists out again. Do some little gentle waves with the wrists as well. And then we might just do that one more time. Yeah, we've got time for one more. We'll do one more of those flows before we finish up. Alright, shake the hands out. If anything is feeling uncomfortable, obviously don't push through discomfort. Rather just sit out or just do the bits that feel comfortable. Alright. So we'll go for another flow on either side. So starting in that crawling position, opposite hand and foot, go for 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift the hand that's further back and that opposite foot to switch around. Switch your hands, bring one hand in front of your face into the crab reach. Hang there for a second. Coming back, switching hands, and then you're going to do an overswitch. Opposite hand and foot, come under, and then walking back into the ape reach. Stay on the balls of your feet. Open your arms out to the side and extend your back. Shift back into your heels, flex your spine, and let your hands hang down. Take a couple of belly breaths in this position, so just really try and breathe into your belly, into your back. You should get a nice little pelvic rock as you breathe in. Exhale, then we're going to walk the hands back to that crawling position for 1, 2, 3, 4. The other opposite hand and foot come up that you didn't use before. Place the hand down. Bring one hand when you spin around in front of your face. Crab reach up. For a second or two, hold. Coming back down. Switch hands into the overswitch, opposite hand and foot. Pivot on the ball of your foot. Back to that crawl position. Walk the hands back into the ape reach. Staying on the balls of your feet. Open your arms out to the side. Extend your back. And then sit back into your heels, flex the back. Hands just rest down. Take a couple of belly breaths.